This is the 650 for Sean Bradley that I rebuilt in the last video that was up. So that's why I'm running it now. That way he can hear it and see it, and I'm not just pretending that I rebuilt it. I really did rebuild it and got it dialed in and running. So I did find a choke, a brand new one. Brand new mechanical choke and put on it. So that choke's just been sitting in a box for a long time. Ain't never been used really. See, it works. I got that rod on it to keep it open. But yeah, we're going to put it on here on the S10, check for leaks, and fire it up and rev her a couple times and get it close. And then all he'll have to adjust is the idle when he puts it on his motor. So that's what we're going to do. But everything looks good. No leaks, aside from where I need to put new Teflon on that. That's leaking, but that's our fitting. That ain't the carburetor. Everything else looks good. Flip pump on. No leaks. Let's see if we got any pump shot. Take it off. There, we got pump shot now. All right, let's put the spark plug back in it and fire it. All right, here it is. He has turned the pump on. Let's see. It's got a little bit. Is it fluctuating? Is what it's doing? All right. Yeah, go ahead. Yep. Ain't got no more gas, but it runs. See if it's got enough to fire without pumping the throttle. No fuel. No fuel. But there you go. She's run in, adjusted. You'll probably have to adjust the idle up or down depending on what your motor does, but she's nice and crispy, clean, and so cool. Thank you, Colton, for letting me use your drag race motor to dial this carburetor.
No problem. It's the only thing with a single carburetor.
Yeah, I know. Everything else is tunnel rammed.
You're going to put this back on mine. I really don't forget it.
What I would do, though, is when you get this carburetor back, you see this spot right there? Hold that square and put you a spot weld right there to hold that in place. Because I don't have a welder. I would have welded it, but I don't have a welder. So, just push it down like that to where it's good and square. Put a spot weld right there. Sean, he welds all kinds of stuff, so he'll be able to do that. So just put your spot weld right there, and that'll keep that square, and it'll work fine. It's just, see, it's just got a little bit of slop to it. Mm-hmm. But it does fine. So cool. All right, let me take it back off.
Yep. You got good mojo now.
You're good mojo. Let's go carburetor. All right, there goes another small block build. This is a 350 for Jerry Stewart. Got a little surface rust and stuff on it, but I'll clean all that right up. This is the way real motor's supposed to look. There you go. There you go, Jerry. Fix the start on your motor. See, it's just got some rust and stuff. No big deal. Getting it all cleaned up. See, the cylinder's got some rust in them. But look, they'll clean right up. A little honing, should be good. Alright, here's the heads for Jerry's motor. Getting everything cleaned up. I got one of them done. I don't know where to set it. But new valve springs. These are the brand new lifters that are going in this motor. Got them clean. So these have been ported. See, we rounded all the edges off of them, make them flow better. Valves are clean, everything's clean. New valve stem cells, new valve springs, everything. Alright, got all the piston rings off. They were on there, boy. There's all the pistons and rods. There's all the pistons and rods. Pads are clean. Everything is getting clean. Standard. We can clean them up real good with a brush in the back.
Oh, this croissant is so delicious. Oh, I just want to eat it all. Nothing like breakfast for the squires. Croissant. Oh, so tasty. Oh, croissant. I want to take you up into the trees and make it after you. Oh, come here, baby. Let's get closer. I'm gonna tell you a little secret. I love you.
Alright. I've been working on this freaking motor all day long since about 7 o'clock this morning. Finally got it cleaned. Well, I had it cleaned up pretty good, but I'm just cleaning and cleaning and cleaning every bolt hole, every thread, everything in it. Now I'm honing it. So I got my hone right there. On that, cylinders look like they're cleaned up real nice. Got the heads put together. I got one of them painted. New valve springs, new valve stem seals. So it should do good. I'll put the part number on here of what the valve springs are. They're good to 500 lift for a hydraulic cam. So they should be perfect for the Engel cam we're going to run for Jerry's motor. They're the correct installed height. I mean, everything is. I treated this thing like I was going to be racing the motor. So you treat a stock motor like it's a race motor, and everything should last forever pretty much. So got all the pistons cleaned up over there. Just been, man, hard at it. Trying to get it done this week. Anyway, like I was saying, treating this block like it's a race motor. Checking all clearances, checking everything, making sure everything's right. Making sure the heads are set up to just withstand, you know, whatever you can throw at them as far as putting miles and miles and miles and miles on them. All new stuff. The key to getting a motor to live is just cleaning it real well and putting it together right. And they will last forever. So that's what Jerry wants. That's what we're going to give him. All this little places I got to go back in there with the Dremel, but I got to hone the block, flush all the oil galleys and everything out, and then dry it with compressed air. Then I'll be able to go in here. After I hone it, I'll be able to clean up a couple of these little spots and stuff, but that ain't really gonna hurt nothing. I'll run all kinds of motors like that. But yeah, like I said, I've been at this all day long. I mean, and that's just for today. Last week, probably 2 or 3 days out of the week, I was cleaning and getting ready. So it's a task, but it's worth it because he's going to drop it down in that little coupe, and it's going to run good, and it's going to be awesome. And the cam I selected for it is an Engel. It's a 490 lift, so it'll work with them springs like a champion. Anyway, like I say, the cam's an Engel. 110 lobe separation. No, it's not a 110. It's a 490 lift, 112 lobe separation on a 210 duration, so it'll be perfect. It'll be from idle to about 5,000 RPM. That's where the intake's going to work at. That's where the carburetor is going to be good for. It's just going to be, it'll be perfect. But I'm putting a really good crank in this motor. A really good crank in this motor. And you'll see that here in a little while. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and order the bearings and stuff. Now that I know what to get, we'll be good to go. Hopefully get it done this week and get over there to him. So, there you go, Jerry. This is going to take a little more, but you can see what I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to show you. Watch. See the cross section? Oh, yeah. So nice. See, this is before honing. See the surface rust, the glaze on them. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. That right there will work nicely. Awesome. See? You can fix just about anything. Just takes a long time to do it, but it's worth it. Old Chevrolet blocks, man. I love them. There she is. Honed and buffed and flushed and cleaned and everything else. I just got to put some grease in the cylinders and then the lifters and lift the bores and put the crank and rods and stuff in that. Alright, there it is. Got a coat of paint on it. That way the outside don't rust. Got it coated with lube, so cylinders and all that stuff won't rust. I'm cleaning up. I'm calling it for today. I'm tired and hungry, so there you go. Alright, all the rest of the parts showed up. Rebuild kit, crank, everything else is here and good to go. So got the block ready. We'll put the bearings in, drop a crank in it, and pistons and rods and everything down in it, and get it ready to set the oil pan on and the heads and the intake and all that good stuff. So crank here. King standard bearings. Alright, crank's going in. It's in there. I'm just torquing the mains down. See the crank, it's 93426651. This is the same crank they use in all the GM quake motors. And if you look, the oil holes are chamfered. See that? Better oiling. It's just really, really good cranks. So it ought to run like a top and run for a very, 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 very long time, a lot of miles. So awesome. Going together. Got the crank in. Look at this. Oh, she is smooth. Look at that, smooth as butter. Clearances are perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and get my rods and pistons, put them in. Alright, all new rings and rod bearings are in. Now it's time for putting them in the cylinders. Number 2 rod. Got one on.
Another porch motor.
Yep.
So you're a jerk.
Mr. Jedi Stewart. Look, even to it in there. Look. She's smooth. Alright, so I got to tear this motor back apart because it is not standard. When I measured with my calipers to begin with, it had rust and stuff in the cylinders. 30 thousandths worth of rust. So check it out. There's your 4, so right there, 25 and 30 thousandths. She's 30 over, and these are standard pistons. So I'm gonna pull this all back apart, get the standard block, the other one that I got memos, bring it here, hone it, and clean it, and put all this in that block. So measure everything after you hone it before you order rings and bearings and all that stuff. Double check it. That's way too much. Rings won't seat, it'll blow by like crazy. I'll build another one. We'll get it tomorrow. Alright, tearing the motor back down. See, got all the rods out and pistons, fixing to pull the crank out. Alright, get the crank out. So I'll use this block for something else since it's 30 over. So, like I said, I measured it beforehand, but there was so much rust in the cylinders that come out as a standard bore. So I got another one. This is the one. This is actually a 4-bolt. It's a much better block, but it is for sure standard. I measured it, and it's so clean this one up and put all that stuff in that block and get it ready for Mr. Jerry Stewart. That sucks so bad that I spent so much time on that one, but that's what it is. It needed to be cleaned and ready to run anyhow, so it'll be alright. We'll use it real soon. Alright, got the other motor up on the motor stand. Got it soaking in purple power. I've wire brushed as much paint off and cleaned all the rust off as best I could. So now I got it soaking in purple power. Gonna turn the high pressure hose on, blast out all the oil galleys and just everything. Just blast it and clean it, and then dry it out with air, then clean it again, brake cleaner, then flush it out again. That's what you gotta do. Cleaning them is very important. You can't just partially do it. You gotta full 100% clean them. It's like 87 degrees out here today. Better than being cold though. I'm gonna blast them with a little brake cleaner so you can see how nice they are. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty. I got the crank in, all the bearings in, the main's on. Just gotta torque them. Alright, I'll put the pistons in it. I'll roll it back up here like normal. So, there we go. Alright, I got all the pistons and rods in, except for the last one. Like usual, filming the last one. Because ain't nobody want to watch me put 7 pistons in another. There you go. There she is. Top dead center. All the pistons and rods and everything's in. It's all torqued to spec and ready to go. And I'm going to do some measuring and figure out what the actual compression ratio is going to be. So, I think these are a 12cc. Plus 12cc, or plus 12 or plus 14. Since they're stock, and it looks to be probably 15,000 a hole or close to it. I'll measure it and see for sure and check for sure. And we'll come up with the actual compression ratio. He wanted about 9 to 1, 8.5 to 1, something like that. So it'll be pretty close to exactly what he wanted. Sweet. We got the cam in and timing chain and everything else. Went with a Comp Cam 268H. It's a 454 lift, intake and exhaust, 218 duration at 50 tappet with a 110 lobe separation. Power band's like 1800 to 5200 RPM, so it will be perfect for this motor. It needs 8.5 to 1 to 9 to 1 compression. It's a very mild cam. That's what Jerry wants, the hydraulic. So that's what's in here. Comp Cam 268H. It'll sound good. 110 lobe separation. I was going to go with the Engel 112 lobe separation, but it needed a little bit more thump to it. So this is actually a very popular cam. There's lots of people run this cam. So I will continue on tomorrow with paint and oil pan and everything else. So sweet. Getting her done again. Alright, there she is. The oil pan ain't bolted down. I just got it sit on there covering the crank and everything. I'm going to put a chrome time cover on it because I think he'll like that better. Going with the 8-inch balancer instead of a 7.5. 8 inches is much better. So yeah, just getting a coat of paint on the block, and then I'll seal up the bottom end, put the timing cover on, put the bouncer on, flip it over and put the heads and stuff on it. And that'll be it. till I clean the intake up, which Jimmy Clark said I could bring it over there and use the media blaster and blast the intake. So yeah, SP2P, good low RPM, good torque intake. So its power band's like idle to 5,000, and this cam is 1,800 to 5,000, well 5,200 give or take. So it'll all be perfect. That's made for low compression. So is everything else in the motor. So it's all where it's supposed to be. So cool. Jerry will be tickled with this one. It'll run good. Should run good. You never can tell. Anything could happen, but it ought to do fine. Here's your quick little thing. If you ain't got no timing tape, get you a piece of, take your ruler, get your piece of masking tape, measure out 2.5 inches, because on an 8-inch bouncer, 2.5 inches from 0 to right there is 34 degrees. So that'll give you a ballpark, 34 degrees, and on most timing tabs, you got 10 before and 10 after. So you can dial it in pretty close. Yep, 2.5 inches from that line right there, 34 degrees on an 8-inch bouncer. It's different depending on the bouncer, like a 7 or a 7.5 will be different, but 8-inch, right there, 2.5 inches, 34 degrees. And then I'll just take a hacksaw and I'll make a line across. Alright, got the timing cover on, new seal in, got the new gaskets on for the oil pan, got to put the oil pan on it. So, alright, get the gasket in, got the oil pan on. Everything looks good, nice squashed out. Very nice, very nice. Now I'm going to put me another coat of paint on top of all that. Alright, there it is. Bottom end is done, sealed up, and ready to go. See the crank, 934-26651. Everything looks good, so sweet. 3970010. Probably one of the prettiest motors I ever did. These are old and torqued and painted, and everything looks good. Time to put the lifters in. These suckers are nice. See that hardened end? It's hardened. See the clip? These are really nice lifters. Putting the push rods in. Comp Cam 7812. See it right there? So it says 7812. They're good. Alright, got all the valves set. Zeroed them up. Put a little preload on them. So, I'm going to pour a little oil in the lifter valley. That's not rust, it's just dry. So I'm going to pour the oil in there, and she is ready. Had to take the timing tab off my 388 because I didn't have one for an 8-inch bouncer. So I'll have to buy one to replace it. But there you go. There's the motor right there. Complete. Alright, thanks to Jim Collins. He let me use his media blaster, and I blasted the intake. Got it pretty clean. I'm going to put a coat of VHT aluminum on top of it. But I'm going to try the aluminum also. Alright, there it is. Got the intake on. Blasted the intake. I'm going to put about 4 coats of that Duplo Color high temperature cast aluminum paint on. Actually come out looking a little more gloss than anything else. It looks actually pretty shiny. It's not really what I wanted, but it looks good, I think. Let's get the valve covers and the water pump and the carburetor and everything else on it. Should look pretty good. She's done. Just needs the carburetor and stuff like that. I'm buying another cherry picker from Order Freight, but they don't get them until Wednesday because they're on sale for 129 bucks. So I have to wait till Wednesday to get a cherry picker. Then I can load this thing up and take it over there.